It's Control Trades, and in today's video I'll be discussing opening versus closing positions with regards to sweeps. So in the stock market, there are two types of positions, an opening position and a closing position. The way that I like to think about opening positions is it's like a fresh or a new trade. With an opening position, the trader is looking to either generate profits or possibly incur losses. It's a trade that is going to still affect your profit and loss. With a closing position, I think of it as an old trade. It's a trade where the profits or losses are being realized, and therefore it can no longer affect your P&L. So, say for example, a trader goes to long Apple. That trader may buy 100 call contracts. Those 100 call contracts are now open. The position is considered open. So, therefore, the contracts will affect that trader's P&L. Say the stock, Apple for this case, hits the trader's profit target or hits their stop loss. Once the trader is comfortable with the profits or losses that they have, they'll close the position, and in order to close the position, they'll sell the 100 call contracts. They'll do the reverse of what they did to open the position, and that's when we consider the trade closed. So with sweeps, the problem is we do not know when the trader is closing the position and realizing those profits or losses, and we do not know when the trader is opening the position to possibly make profits. So the only things that we can do is try and be an investigator here and look at things like the size, the volume, the open interest, etc. to try and gain an idea about the aggression that the trader has. If we see a trader that's very aggressive, then it's likely going to be an opening position. So for an opening position, what I look for is I look at the volume to open interest relationship, the size to volume relationship, and where the contract was filled at. So more specifically, I want to see that the volume is greater than the open interest. I want to see that the size makes up 85% or more of the volume. And then I want to see that the fill price is at or above the ask. So for this video, I gave you guys an example. At the bottom of the screen, I have highlighted SPY puts. It's the entry where it says 2:27 p.m. Here, if we start from the right side of the screen and make our way to the left side of the screen, you can see that the volume is greater than the open interest. We have 7,232 contracts traded that day in terms of volume, and the open interest is only 2,665 contracts. So our first check mark is checked off, the volume greater than open interest. And the reason why I look for this is because volume tells you how many contracts were traded on that day, and open interest tells you the number of contracts that are currently available. So if we see that there's a large or most of the contracts traded on a given day are new positions and they weren't existing positions which open interest reflects, then that for me again shows aggression. The second thing that I look at is the size to volume relationship. I want to see that the size is a majority of the volume. So in this case, we have that their size for this order was 7,911 contracts, and the volume was 7,232 contracts. So I can see that the size, again, is greater than the volume, or the size constitutes all of the volume in this case. And what that shows me is that this trader is buying all of these SPY put contracts for that day. Again, it signifies aggression. The last thing that I look at is the fill price. Here we see that the fill price is at the ask. So the ask is the highest price that you can pay for something, and you're guaranteed to get filled if you buy at the ask. So if we see that a trader is buying at the ask, that shows, again, aggression. Anytime we see aggression, that likely means that it's an opening position. And the opening positions are things that we would like to follow or things that should catch our attention. On the other hand, we have closing positions. Closing positions are positions where you do not see aggression. So any things that would signify very little aggression or no aggression whatsoever is if you see that the volume is less than the open interest, and what that tells you is there's virtually no contracts traded on that day relative to the number of contracts are open. And then the second criteria that I look at to determine if a position is a closing position is the size to volume relationship. If I see that the size is much less than the volume, then I think it's a closing position. That means there's not much aggression there. So if you guys are calls or puts users, the only thing, if you're filtering by gold sweeps, the only thing that you guys have to look at really is the size to volume relationship. If you see that the size for a golden position is greater than the volume, then it's likely an opening position. If you see that the size is much less than the volume, then it's likely closing. And as simple as that if you guys are using calls or puts. .com. So just one disclaimer that I want to put in here before I end the video is, again, even though we think in position is an opening position or a closing position, that does not mean that we should just blindly follow the position. What it means is that we should look into the position and do a little bit more investigative research. So if I see an opening position that I like, then what I'm going to do is I'm then going to go to my charts and do my own technical analysis. And if my technical analysis confirms this opening position, then I'll follow the trade. If my technical analysis disagrees, then I likely won't follow the trade. It doesn't have to be technical analysis that you use. You could use fundamental analysis, but you should have something else that's confirming what you're seeing in the sweeps. Additionally, some other things that I like to look at for aggression would be if the strike is out of the money, it usually is more aggressive, or if the expiration's close to the current date. I'm not going to be looking at stuff that's in 2023. But that's pretty much it for opening versus closing positions and what I personally look for. Everyone has their own criteria, but this is what I would recommend. If you guys like the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so other people can see my contents. If you guys have any suggestions about how I can make the video better, please also comment about that. I would love more feedback. And if you guys have any topics that you guys would like me to cover in the future, please leave comments on that as well. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.